What is up, guys? It's your boy Rick Kakis, and today Bungie just ended a massive developer livestream where they fully unveiled Episode 2 Revenant coming next week, and also talked about some of the changes coming in Destiny 2 Frontiers arriving in 2025. Guys, there was a massive amount of info, and some of this stuff is absolutely crazy, and so let's get started. Now, this video is going to be focusing on the info revealed in this live stream, and particularly focusing on Episode Revenant, since it's the next thing arriving to the game quite soon. Apparently, they're dropping an additional article about how they're going to overhaul armor in Frontiers. That's going to be in a separate video later today, so make sure you hit the bell icon so you don't miss it. Alright, so as for the brand new content arriving with Revenant, first of all, we have the Tonic Capsule. This is going to be where you can essentially craft potions to give you certain benefits. There's two types of tonics you can craft. You have enriching tonics. As you can see here, this is going to be essentially what you do to focus farm weapons. So different tonics will have different symbols above them. You can see like the hand cannon symbol, auto rifle, scout rifle, etc. This is going to let you farm a particular weapon or a kind of drop in the activity you're doing within Revenant. But really importantly, and Bungie just kind of casually dropped this and moved on, these weapons are not going to be craftable. I'm not sure if every weapon from Revenant is not going to be craftable, but certainly for the ones they were mentioning here, it's much more similar to Into the Light, where you can focus them, but you're just going to have to get them and get the god roll the old-fashioned way. A lot of people have been begging for this, saying that crafting is reducing replayability, and other people really enjoy crafting, just being able to deterministically farm a certain weapon, so that's going to be a big change next episode. Then you have volatile tonics. These are going to improve your lethality by improving certain seasonal artifact perks. So the lower rarity tonics will improve less seasonal artifact perks, and you can see here with the higher rarity legendary tonics, these will improve 2 of your seasonal artifact perks. So you have a certain build that incorporates these seasonal artifact perks. Often these seasonal artifact perks are incredibly good, as we've seen from last season, and we're going to be going over a lot of them in this video as well. So even improving them more so, especially if they're important in your build, could be a big boost in power. Now, moving on from there, all right, you got your tonics, you're drinking your potions, but what are you playing? Well, it's actually going to be an updated version of Onslaught. So, yes, Onslaught is back. There's going to be a separate Onslaught playlist that has 3 new Onslaught maps, essentially 3 PvP maps that are now in Onslaught, and there's additional changes as well. Notably, there's new defenses. As you can see here, the person is building a manable turret that was like from Destiny 1, so that's back. And also you now have the airstrike defense. You can call in airstrikes on certain areas, and then they've made some changes to existing defenses. For example, the trip mines are now going to have a stasis slow effect as well. So new defenses and also new enemies you are facing. Notably, like you're going to be facing the Scorn. There's going to be different objectives. I think you can see some different objectives playing in the background gameplay where you have to go rescue like captured Elixir and stuff like that. So Onslaught is going to be back with a bunch of changes. Now, I'm kind of split down the middle on this, guys. On the one hand, it's kind of sad that we're not getting a brand new activity. On the other hand, a lot of brand new activities kind of suck. Like, people do not like a lot of the new activities they introduce. They get boring. And so maybe arguably it is better that they're taking something that everyone pretty much loved, which is Onslaught, and then just building upon that. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. But moving on from there, from this Onslaught gameplay, we got a bunch more info on some crazy new stuff coming next episode. First of all, you're clearly seeing gameplay with a brand new exotic weapon. It's actually a primary ammo stasis breech-loaded grenade launcher. Yes, the Fighting Lion now has competition, and this thing is crazy. First of all, this is actually what the concept art being shown right here that was shown off in a much earlier developer live stream, this crazy looking exotic, that's actually what we're seeing right here. You can tell that by looking at its weapon icon within the gameplay, but this thing is going to shoot these like stasis spikes that are going to fly directly at enemies, kind of like the mountaintop, honestly. Like there's going to be no drop. And then when you kill enemies with this thing, it's going to release like remnants and you can collect them. And as you can see right here, when you build up enough remnants, you can do a special reload that's going to unlock an alternate fire mode that will spawn ammo, including spawn heavy ammo for you and your teammates. Remember, this uses primary ammo. It's infinite ammo. So now they were talking about how like you can actually build into ammo generation for your teammates. That is pretty darn crazy. Another thing I noticed is, as you can see right here, they were actually using a double burst slug shotgun. That's right. There's going to be a 2-round burst slug shotgun weapon archetype coming next season as well. Very, very cool. We have a brand new grenade launcher shown off too. And another thing they talked about but didn't show was the Icebreaker, an infamous Destiny 1 sniper. It was confirmed it's returning as the dungeon exotic, so they actually revealed kind of how it works. Instead of just having constantly regenerating ammo out of thin air, that caused a lot of problems, honestly, now you will regen ammo by getting kills with your other weapons. So if you have a DPS phase, you go to town with Icebreaker, then, you slay out on enemies as you're waiting for the next phase, for example, of the Witness, you're gonna go back into that fight with full ammo. So very, very interesting. Still a way to gen ammo out of thin air, but you can't just like stay in the back and not touch anyone. Really going to be interesting how that thing works. And they teased that, it's called Icebreaker. Now that they actually have ice, aka stasis, in the game, it'll have some synergy with that, but they didn't reveal exactly what. In addition to that, they revealed some of the new perks coming next season. So instead of Volt Shot, there's going to be a new arc weapon that gets a new perk that will trigger Jolt after sustained damage instead of having to reload. Also, there's going to be a new perk that will reload a weapon when you damage an enemy with your other weapons. So you could like shoot a rocket launcher, you're triggering bait and switch on your sniper or whatever, you're using your other weapons. When you get back to your rocket, it will be auto reloaded because you've damaged the enemy with your other two weapons. That could be interesting for sure. And there's a new stasis perk that will give you frost armor if you shatter crystals or defeat frozen enemies and stuff like that on a hand cannon, they said. So some cool stuff there. Let's move on to the new seasonal artifact perks. Now we got to see almost all of them, but unfortunately the last 3 were not looked at before the stream moved on. So you have a bunch of different anti-champion weapons. Notably, there's some special weapons with shotguns and grenade launchers right there. Then we've got Frost Armor grants stasis weapons more reload speed. Rapid Weapon Final Blows give you more mobility. A boost to a new origin trait right here. Deal increased weapon damage to Scorn. Dealing damage with grenade launchers is going to increase the reload speed. Rapid Stasis Precision Hits grant you a stack of Frost Armor. Gathering Stasis Crystals will make your next powered Stasis melee create Stasis Crystals based on how many you've collected. Finishing a powerful combatant will give you damage resistance. Rapid final blows against weakened combatants will give you Devour. That's super cool. Rapid precision hits or final blows on targets with Jolt or Blind will give you Ionic Traces. When you have Frost Armor, taking critical damage will emit a freezing burst around you. Shattering Stasis Crystals releases shards of ice that damage and slow targets. Finishers emit a damaging wave with an element matching your equipped super. Then this is a big one, baby. Breach and Clear is back with Concussive Reload. Using a grenade launcher to damage a boss, damage a champion, or break a combatant shield weakens them. Then if you use the correct tonic, it will also reload those grenade launchers as well. This is a huge deal. The last time it was in the game, it warped the meta because applying an easy weaken effect with just one shot of a grenade launcher, and if you have someone using something like a Wither Horde, a damage over time grenade launcher, that's even better, guys. This absolutely was crazy the last time it was in the game. Very excited to see it back. Then we have Rapid Arc Weapon Precision Hits will consume an armor charge to blind the target. We have Sustained Damage with Power Grenade Launchers causes the combatants to emit a shockwave that damages nearby combatants. Picking up a Stasis Shard grants you class ability energy, and Avoid Breach gives you melee energy. And the last perk that was shown in the live stream says your arc abilities, void abilities, and weapons with that certain origin trait do bonus damage to targets that are affected by a stasis debuff. And so I know I went over those a bit quickly, and there's different boosts you can activate for almost all of those. Obviously, you can pause and read if you want to, but I'm going to be going over that whole artifact in much more detail when it's fully and officially revealed in this Thursday's TWAB. But overall, guys, wow, stasis and grenade launchers are winning big this season. Oh my goodness. Breach and Clear coming back with additional grenade launcher perks is crazy. Like the heavy grenade launchers emitting a burst of damage and stuff. Like you can potentially do some insane DPS with heavy grenade launchers this season. I am extremely excited for that. And also a little bit of love for Void thrown in there as well. So definitely, guys, start upgrading your best grenade launchers for sure, and stasis stuff too. Moving on from there, guys. A quick tip, start saving your strange coins. And that's because, as you can see here, there's a brand new exotic skimmer called the Zerf board, of course, that is going to be purchasable at Xur after Revenant goes live. So if you missed out on Guardian Games, you missed out on the last skimmer, this is going to be like something everyone can go and earn, so you can get your hands on a skimmer, which is definitely pretty cool. They are able to do some crazy stuff in terms of mobility, getting places you probably shouldn't get compared to normal sparrows. But after that, something else that will be arriving shortly after the release of Episode 2 Revenant is Festival of the Lost, and Bungie did show off the different armor sets that would be arriving. So right here we have the Hunter. They chose the Evil Wizard in terms of like a community vote. After that we have the Warlock right here, again an Evil Wizard, and then finally we have the Titan as the only good wizard vote right here. So those three armor sets will be coming with Festival of the Lost. But moving on from there, the topic shifted to Destiny 2 Frontiers. So importantly, Bungie talked about the layout and the size of the expansions coming with Frontiers. So importantly, instead of getting one massive expansion every single year, like a Witch Queen or a Final Shape sized expansion, we are now going to be getting 2 medium-sized expansions per year. And Bungie was kind of talking about this choice, justifying why it might be better, saying, first of all, the medium-sized expansions are still going to be somewhat big, and they actually referenced that they're about the size of the Rise of Iron. And I'm sure a lot of you guys watching are like, well, I really enjoyed the Rise of Iron. I know I really enjoyed the Rise of Iron personally, so that's not the worst thing. They also talked about how they're going to be able to shift the narrative better. Instead of having, they even called it filler, you know, you have certain parts of the year where they're just kind of doing whatever to delay the storyline until the next big expansion. They can now move the story a lot faster because they have, you know, 2 campaigns per year. Each one of these medium-sized expansion will have its own version of a campaign. So that was kind of interesting. Speaking of which, they actually unveiled some new concept art for Codename Apollo, the first of the 2 upcoming medium-sized expansions. So you have this right here, where there looks to be some sort of ritual going on. Actually notice that if you look up in the upper part of this concept art, it's like space engines, or spaceship engines, I should say. I think this is like an old colony ship. This is my guess. This is an old Golden Age colony ship that came to this completely different planet, maybe outside of our solar system, where Codename Apollo might be taking place, and the people got stranded there, the technology went away, and this is them kind of doing these like rituals to reignite the colony ship and try to start that old Golden Age piece of technology. That's just my guess. And the other piece of concept art was this right here, showing some crazy like underground area of Codename Apollo. After that, they talked a lot about stuff we have already known, such as there's going to be a non-linear story in Codename Apollo. So you're going to, instead of just going from one mission to the next, you'll go to A, or B or C, and then you can go from C to B to D to A. Like, you can go to all these different missions of your choosing, unlocking new story missions, new characters, exposition, and all of that stuff. So that could be very interesting as well. And then really the big thing that, again, will be touched on much better in the video later today is going to be the overhaul to armor. So Bungie mentioned during this live stream that armor will actually now be able to go past 100 in terms of stats. So instead of being capped out at 100 strength, you can now go above 100, and what doing that is going to do is now enable your melees to just have double melees. So if you have a shield throw, it'll just sometimes randomly throw 2 shields, and the more you go above 100 in terms of your melee stat, the more of a chance for that double powered melee to actually happen. So that seems pretty crazy. And the other big thing is that armor is finally getting set bonuses that affect gameplay. Specifically, they referred to on the live stream as maybe a set bonus that improves the functionality with Tex Mechanica weapons, like actually has an effect on gameplay. And they said that there's going to be, I think, 2-piece and 4-piece bonuses, so you don't have to go all 6 pieces in terms of build crafting and stuff like that. So some pretty crazy stuff, and certainly like set armor has been one of the things that people have asked for since Destiny 1 came out. So the fact that we're finally getting it is going to be crazy. Guys, that's really it for the main points of information revealed within the live stream. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it informative. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest Destiny 2 news, be sure to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That is linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.